So welcome you all. So this is the second episode of the leadership series. So I sincerely express my gratitude to Guru Garu and the Dhruva Jnanam group for making this possible. One second. Sorry, I'm just having trouble in moving the slides. Can you pause the video? So the last time, basically, we were talking about this this growth mindset. How do we actually cultivate a growth mindset? The reason is a lot of CEOs in the real world success is not really in our hands. All that we can do is to cultivate a growth mindset, and cultivating a growth mindset is really about bhakti and shraddha, right? So that's so as long as we are focused on those two elements, the bhakti and shraddha, which Sanatana Dharma gives. So then we can cultivate the growth mindset, and that exactly is eventually, it gives us success. So that was the summary last time, and we went through a few stories last time to further develop that. This time, I'm going to pick up exactly from where we left off. So the only thing that I'm going to add now is enduring growth mindset. So what I mean by enduring is really about just not growth that happens once and then stops. You see that for a lot of CEOs too. They hit a few things and then they stop for whatever reason. The question really is about how do you endure that, right? So how do you continue? How do you continue to deliver, right? And to me, I think then what you need to sort of bring forth is dharma and sattva guna, right? So sattva and dharma to me are the pedestals for that. So when we talk about dharma, so I'm going to sort of give a little bit of insight into why dharma is so important. How do we interpret dharma and moksha? It's just not about moksha is not the final emancipation, but even the CEOs actually can take that into consideration. And really, the sattva guna. How do we get actually the right balance of sattva? It's a combination of rajasic and tamasic forces, along with sattva. But question is, how do we focus on sattva? So in the next 20-25 minutes, the key message is how do we develop a growth mindset, an enduring growth mindset, right? Focused on dharma and sattva, right? So that is in fact, I have this very nice Harvard Business Review article, came out earlier this year, 2019. In fact, the links to this are provided at the end of this presentation. So where Dalai Lama was actually interviewed, and then he was asked what exactly the CEO should be doing. And the message was that, look, the leaders really should be, the success is really about three things. And that's what the leader should be doing: being mindful, being selfless, and being compassionate, right? So there he talks about how when you talk about leaders, these are not just leaders of the corporations, but these are the leaders of the governments, the leaders of the companies, leaders of the organizations. So the three qualities that really stand out are the being mindful, being selfless, and being compassionate, right? Now, what exactly is being mindful, right? So being mindful means sort of cultivating a peace of mind, peaceful set of mind, as they say in English, stoic, right? So you're stable state of mind. Being selfless, generous, cooperative, talking to others, taking others' interest into account. Being compassionate, so being kind, and compassion can be combined with the intelligence, right? So these are the three qualities. Even Satya Nadella, he sort of talks about this. As we all know, he made a big change in Microsoft, the whole culture there, corporate culture, right? So now the question is, how do we cultivate these three qualities? Well, they're actually very intimately linked to sattva, guna, and dharma, right? So whichever Sanatana Dharma talks about all the time, and I'll show you how. So sattva, rajas, tamas, these three gunas, they coexist. We need a healthy balance, all the three. So I'm going to put a sort of a leadership perspective on this. I'm sure you heard of all this. So sattva is all the great things, balance, harmony, being constructive, being positive, luminous, virtuous, rishis, devatas. Rajas is the doership, right? You need that activity, you need to go and annihilate the bad. You need to be active, you need to be driven, you need to be dynamic, right? All those qualities. And the tamas is the other one. It could, it could be some sort of anxiety. Anxiety is good and bad. You need a little bit of anxiety to do good things, but too much is not good. So dull or inactive. Sometimes inactivity is good too. You slowing you down. Sometimes ignorance is good too, right? So tamas is usually associated with the negative qualities, as we know. So what I'm actually going to explain is, to me, how sattva and dharma are the essential ingredients towards this enduring growth mindset, right? So that's what I'm going to get at. So the other idea is this purusharthas, right? So dharma, artha, karma, moksha. And the moment we say this, actually, we apply it to sort of the bigger scheme in life, where moksha really means the final emancipation. Really, I think I think it's something more subtle. In fact, for any project management for the kids here, you're doing school projects. You're doing several courses, exams. A lot of it is project management, right? And so for any project, even these four legs apply. So dharma is, as long as you're focused on the ethical aspects of it, doing it right, doing it in the dharmic way, and as long as you successfully completed, that is moksha, right? So you should take every task, make sure that it is completely done, successfully done, accomplish it, and then move to the next one, right? So those two are the important aspects of any projects, right? It's just not about final life. So what I'm getting at is, to be a successful, in order to endure, in order to deliver an enduring, positive, attitude and positive leadership, one needs to be focused on the dharma as much as moksha. Moksha is successful completion. I'm going to explain this with a little more clarity by applying it to our Kurma avatar. Kurma avatar, I'm going to talk a little bit about the avatar itself. Why is it so important? And I'm also going to talk about the uniqueness of this Kurma temple, right? So to me, remember, the ultimate goal is to explain the growth mindset, especially the enduring growth mindset. How do we embrace growth mindsets? How do we make sure that we continue to have that growth mindset? And in order to accomplish that, we need to, as long as we cultivate a way of life where dharma is important, where sattva guna is important, I think we can do that. So to us, the examples then come from our own Sanatana Dharma, the Kurma avatar, and the uniqueness of the Kurma temple, right? So, so few things about the Kurma avatar, right? So we know this is very, very ancient. We are talking about the second of the Dasa avatars, right? It's very ancient. All of us kids here should know, perhaps, right? So, so why is it so important? Well, the whole story about how there was this churning that happened, right? So the churning happened, and then the Kurma is the little tortoise, a big tortoise lying below the mantra, the holy mountain, right? So that is the image. So basically, it's the churning. So in fact, our Guru Garu, Samvedangaru, gives a wonderful yogic interpretation too. But the key point here is there is this holy mountain that was used to churn the ocean of milk, Ksirasagara, and the king of the serpents, which was Vasuki, that adorns Lord Shiva, played the role of churning rope. And so on, right? So we heard, so there were devatas on one side, rakshasa on the other side. So we sort of know this. And just to sort of fix your images, so that is on the right side, Lord Vishnu, who is in the form of the holy Kurma, right? So why is it so important? Well, so the point here is, so out of this holy churning, a lot of wonderful things came about. The Halahala, Lord Shiva had to absorb. Then came the holy Kamadhenu, then came the Kalpavruksha, Airavatam, Mahalakshmi, all these happened, right? And so these are wonderful things. In fact, the next picture actually very beautifully captures this. So you see the imagery where Lord Shiva is, taking the Halahala. Then Airavatam came, and there was a holy horse also that came out of that, and then eventually Lakshmi, Mahalakshmi. It's a beautiful image. So, and then soon after that, when Amrita came, there was a fight between Rakshasas and Devatas, as we know, and Lord Vishnu then comes in the form of Mohini, right? A divine damsel Mohini, right? And then make sure that that is distributed to the Devatas, right? So, who is the Dharma, right? So So here is then the summary. Okay, so here is the main thing, right? So I just give you a quick summary of the avatar, but here is the importance, which is what I want you to focus on. Look, in this avatar, Lord Vishnu, who came in the in the form of a holy tortoise, right, Kurma, he did not embark on the slaying of any wicked. So there is absolutely no slaying that happened, right? In fact, he had what is called Samata Drishti, which is equipoise. He was equipoise towards both good and bad, devatas and rakshasas. So he actually signified the sattva guna. So when we talk about sattva guna, the perfect example or imagery for us is Kurma avatar. So remember how he was lying there in equipoise. So look at this image, right? So he was there. He signifies the Lord signifies the sattva, right? Sattva guna. The Lord was equipoised. Both sides there was rajas, tamas, that was sort of churning it, but he was there. He was equipoised, and he holds the sattva guna. And as the picture on the right side shows, as long as the sattva guna is in the guru's sthanam, which is the leading force, right? So rajas, tamas may be there, but as long as sattva guna is in the leading force, then you can have an enduring growth mindset. Because remember, the key word is how do you not only have the growth mindset but endure it. So sattva guna is important, and this is true for all the leaders, right? All the leaders of companies, of organizations, of the countries, even having a sattvic mindset, and that is coming from the Lord there, right? So of all the sacred incarnations, Kurma avatar therefore signifies the benevolence or sattva guna, and depicts the importance of potential service and love in helping. Okay, so that is what the Lord reminds us. Now, secondly, what the Lord reminds us is about choosing dharma, right? So the Lord came in the form of divine nymph, Mohini, and then distributes the Amritam to the dharmic, to the people in the dharmic path, which is devatas. Again, choosing dharma is what the Lord showed us. Okay, so putting those two together, then according to the holy text. So, for example, praying to the Lord Kurma, Kurmanatha, praying to the Lord. It attenuates, it takes away the effects of Shani dosha and helps obtain moksha at the end of the mortal life. That's what they say, right? So again, to put things in perspective, what all that I'm saying is, look, enduring growth mindset is all about cultivating a sattvic mindset, right? Which is what the Lord was doing in the form of the holy tortoise, Kurma. And it's also about invoking dharma, right? And invoking Lord Kurma is actually invoking dharma, the virtuous qualities, right? And moksha is about fruitful completion, and that's also possible only through invoking Lord. So as long as we invoke the Lord for dharma and moksha, the other two, artha and kama, which is the reward and the desire, are automatically taken care of. Okay. So the key message then that I want to sort of convey is enduring growth mindset is about cultivating a sattvic mindset, which is what the Lord typifies. And it's also about invoking dharma and moksha, which is what the Mohini avatar there also shows. Okay, so that's exactly one slide which sort of captures it all. So the enduring growth mindset really about dharma on one side, making sure that the dharma is invoked and the moksha is also invoked, and that is moksha as in a successful completion of a project. That's what moksha is. To do that, you remember the Mohini avatar, how dharma is chosen, and then invoking the sattvic forces as the primary force, as the sattva be the leading light, guiding light of the other two. That is the image you see where the Lord Kurma there on the left side, he's taken that form, and where he sort of signifies the sattva. Okay, so this image sort of captures. So what I've done is essentially link the modern concept of the Harvard Business Review, which is about how do you create successful leaders, is really about enduring growth set. And to me, that comes from dharma and sattva, and that comes from a Kurma avatar, right? And I think this is a second aspect to my presentation quickly, is about the Sri Kurma temple, right? So in fact, all of us, some of us know, or most of us know, that it is not too far away from Visakhapatnam, right? It's about 3 hours. Perhaps some of us can relate to that, right? In fact, so these are some of the beautiful images. I visit. So I have connections to. Yeah. So this is a beautiful place, What I want all my friends here to note here is that what is so unique about it. The unique thing is about the fact that this is the only temple in India, only temple, so literally on the planet, dedicated to Sri Kurma Avatar, right? And the temple dates back to at least 10,000 years in terms of its, references, right? So the only temple dedicated to Kurma, which means it has survived. So when you talk about enduring growth mindset, this temple has endured, and it's endured well, 10,000 years at least. I know the Avatara is much older, but I'm talking about the actual temple when it came to be. And secondly, the Avatar itself there has endured. So there is something unique about this temple, why it has endured, right? So which is, just to put it in context, so if you're looking at time-wise, so this temple actually comes from somewhere. The Avatar is very, very ancient. As I said, it's the second of Das Avataras, but it actually comes from Kruta Yuga, which is about 10,000 plus years ago, right? So which is very ancient. So all that I'm saying, basically there is an ancient temple. It's been referred to in the Padma Purana. Veda Vyasa actually talks about it in the Padma Purana. So again, all the meaning of these last three slides is it is very ancient and it has endured well. So when you talk about enduring growth mindset, the Sri Kurma Avatar and the Sri Kurmam is a perfect example. It has stood the test of time. Okay, here is another picture of the temple. Now, a few some interesting details. So this temple actually, Lord Brahma himself came to consecrate the temple, I believe, according to the temple history. So the Lord Kurma lies in the Sanctum Sanctorum, right? It's a Swayambhu temple. It has an illustrious list of visitors who visited the temple. So that includes in Treta Yuga. Remember, Treta Yuga is 10,000 years ago, roughly. Sri Rama's, so Treta Yuga was about 8,000 years ago. And there, Rama's children, Lava and Kusa, visited the temple. Dwapara Yuga, Balarama visited the temple. Shankaracharya, Adi Shankaracharya visited the temple in 6th century AD. And then Ramanujacharya visited in the 12th century, and so on. So the fact is, the reason all that we are saying is, look, there are very important milestones in that some of the illustrious visitors, paid salutations to the Lord there. Right? The present temple actually is at least 700 years old. The history says that it was actually renovated in the 2nd century. Okay, so it's been there for a long time. Now, the key thing that I'm trying to connect here is that this temple has survived thousands of years. So it has endured through years. So it's passed the endurance test. So when you talk about enduring growth mindset, here's an example. And it also embodies two great qualities that we talked about, Sattva and Dharma. I'll say more about that right now, okay? So this temple is actually the epicenter. This is not one temple, it's an epicenter of 8 other temples that are around it. So those temples are listed there. There are 8 temples which are all around that epicenter of this temple. So it's a holy ground. It's a very holy place for us in the Sanatana Dharma, right? So this slide actually has a little bit of content, too much content. So basically what we are saying is, look, in fact, this is a sort of a Harihara Kshetra, as they call, right? So there's, it was actually until Ramanujacharya visited in 1100, so it's about 12th century. Until then, it was actually worshipped as a Sivalinga for a long time. Okay, so it's a Harihara Kshetra. So it's a full concept. So the fact that it is endured several thousands of years means that it's a complete concept, and the completeness comes from its Harihara Kshetra. So it was worshipped as a Shiva Linga for a long time. Then Ramanujacharya, in fact, revealed that it should be worshipped in the Vaishnava tradition. I mean, that was actually done. The history goes that actually the deity turned its face from the east to west. Okay, so basically the point is that this temple has 2 Dvajastambhas, right? So you can see those stambhas on the right hand side, top right side of the image. So there are 2 Dvajastambhas. So, but the key point I want you to take away is that this is a Harihara Kshetra where Lord Shiva and Vishnu coexist. And here is a very interesting slide, this and the next one. So when Ramanuja actually visited here, he had a vision, he had a dream, and the Lord Rama reveals to him in the dream that, look, I have this, I'm lying around in the ground with Lakshmana and Sita. Please, unearth us. So there is this beautiful uh, uh, statues, that have been excavated. So these are idols that have been dug out. And in fact, Lord Rama gave instructions to Ramanuja to unearth them. So these idols are actually still preserved. So they go back to 12th century and they've been dug out of the ground, right? So that is another uniqueness. Again, I'm just telling you the fact that is very old, very ancient, great culture surrounds that, and the fact that endurance keeps coming to us at every mention of the ancientness, right? So the other important thing, children, here is that I'll see this uh, door here on the right side. So on the top it says Kasi Dwaram, okay, Kasi Dwaram, and the story, the legend is that there is actually, so this is a secret door, right? So this is a secret door safeguarding an underground tunnel, a Suranga Marga, in the temple corridor that is said to lead to the holy town of Kasi, right, on the banks of Ganges. So in fact, the kings used to take this secret passage, go all the way to Kasi. So we have two friends from Varanasi today. So the kings used to transfer themselves. They used to travel through this tunnel, secret passage, to take a holy dip in Mother Ganges, worship the Lord there, and come back here. So that is also a very, very interesting aspect to this temple. Okay. Okay. So just 3-4 more minutes and we are done. Okay. So why are we talking about all this? Well, really, the life is all about doing great things, especially for the kids you out there, right? So it's really about doing great things. So, and as participants in this global economy, we all depend on each other, right? So while climate and global environment affects us all, we all depend on each other. So in fact, when you talk about depend on each other, let's look at the bees, right? So bees as in, as insects, right? So in fact, they have no constitution. As if you look at the world of bees, there's no government there. They don't have a leader there. They have no police. They have no moral training. But they all work together in order to survive, right? Sometimes they may squabble, they may fight among themselves, but the colony survives on the basis of cooperation. The key word is cooperation, right? So even bees or ants, they all work in together with cooperation. However, human beings seem to have problems there, right? So human beings we have constitution, we have complex legal systems, we have police, we have remarkable intelligence and a great capacity for love and affection. Yet, despite all these extraordinary qualities, we seem less able to cooperate, right? So we are not even able to stand up to the standards the bees have set for us, okay? So obviously, then we come back to the original slide that I mentioned earlier on, which is really about leadership, right? So really, the leadership is about cultivating those three qualities: being mindful, being a state of sattvic state of mind, being selfless, right? So as long as you are in a dharmic state of mind, you are selfless. You are automatically compassionate, right? So the question then is, sattvic and dharma really underlies the leadership qualities that are needed to survive in the world. Okay? And as long as you are a better leader unto yourself, you can lead people better around you, and you can lead the organizations better, right? So whether you are working for a school or for a company or for a government or for multiple countries, you can be a better leader. So really the key word is altruism, right? So reinstating a commitment to humanity and altruism. And altruism is fundamental. So altruism is being helpful, be compassionate, right? Is fundamental for societies and organizations and their individuals to thrive in the long run. And what exactly is needed to do that? You need three qualities of leadership: mindfulness, selflessness, and compassionate. And the really two pillars for that are sattva and dharma, right? So when we talk about sattva, the Lord Kurma readily comes to our mind. The Lord Kurma, yogically, he's in the Muladhara, right? So he's supporting us from there, and he's equipoised. And on that plane, there may be Rajas and Tapas fighting each other. There may be Rakshasa Shaktis and Asura Shaktis troubling us. But let us remember the Lord Kurma there, who will then put us in a sattvic platform, right? So as long as Sattva-guna is in the Guru state, which is leading the other two, then we can achieve the leadership qualities I talked about. The second aspect I talked about is dharma, right? How the Lord helped choose, this gave the Amrita to the dharmic side, people who are the path of Dharma. Let us choose Dharma. So that will give us the, out of the 4 Purushadas, a focus on the Dharma, and a focus on moksha, which is a successful completion, will automatically give us the leadership qualities we want. Okay. So this is the final slide that I want you to leave with, that I've been talking about. That is pretty much it, folks. Thank you. And here are the homework questions. I believe I need to share this. So what is enduring growth mindset? So last time we talked about having a growth mindset. Now the key word is enduring, right? So how do we cultivate the enduring growth mindset? What does Kurma Avatar teach us in terms of achieving this growth mindset, really? So that is the homework. And here are these nice references for kids. There's a Vishnu Puranam from the second link. Guru Garu actually gave wonderful talks. The talk 1 and 2 are identical. The talk 1 is just the audio. The talk 2 is a video version of the same one. Where he talks about the yogic interpretation. The parents may actually like to listen to that. And the leadership articles from the Forbes and Harvard Business School that are referred there. Okay. So any questions?
Like those 2.
Okay. Thank you. Mir, actually, Papan, you gave me timely tips, fixing the typos and all that. At 24 years.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. The slide just.
Yes. No, absolutely.
Idi. And moksha ante adedo mano after the life annadi kaadu. As you said very nicely that success itself is moksha.
Yes. Okay, project అయిపోవడం. Exactly.
Yeah, it's really good. And ఇంకోటి ఏంటంటే లాస్ట్ టైం మీరు ఇచ్చిన ప్రెజెంటేషన్ కూడా పిల్లలు యూజ్ చేసుకున్నారు, and they worked it, and the questions children answer those questions. Yeah, if possible, I will definitely share with you so that you see how they responded back.
Yes. Actually, Naveen, I think we could have a little discussion also, right? I mean, we could give 10-15 minutes of discussion on the we can on this. So if more kids can come in the future, I think we let them share their.
We have అదే మీరు మనం ఇది కొంచెం ఇంకా we have to see.
It will take time. Yeah.
But యూస్ చేసుకున్నా అండి, అంటే జాయిన్ అవ్వడానికి maybe various reasons.
Yes, no problem.
But children are utilizing the video.
See, నా mindset ఏంటండి, because we interact with some of the top people here, some really top people. కానీ ఏంటంటే వాళ్ళకి దృక్పథం ఉండదు, ఇలా తెలియదు వాళ్ళకి, ఇలా ఆలోచించని. వాళ్ళకు సక్సెస్ఫుల్ పీపుల్ కనబడతారు చాలా మంది ఇక్కడ, కానీ వాళ్ళకు ఏదో బ్రిటిల్ గా ఏదో అవుతుంది, ఏదో సరిగ్గా నడవదు లైఫ్, ఎక్కడో ఆగిపోతూ ఉంటారు వాళ్ళు. సో ఎక్కడో అక్కడ ఆగిపోయి జడంగా అయిపోయి మళ్ళా సో నేను ఏదే సాత్విక ధర్మ అని చెప్పాను చూడండి, సో అవి 2 మాత్రం మిస్సింగ్ గా ఉంటాయి, ఇంకేదో నడుస్తూ ఉంటాయి. సో ఎండ్యూరింగ్ అనేది చాలా అది ఎండ్యూరింగ్ ఉండాలంటే మన సనాతన ధర్మానికి మళ్ళీ వెళ్లాల్సిందే మనం. అండ్ ఏదో బాగా డబ్బులు సంపాదించేసి సక్సెస్ అయిపోయి అలా చాలా కనబడతారు, కానీ వాళ్ళకి ఇన్కంప్లీట్ గా ఉంటాయి లైఫ్. అది
అదే మీరు అది కూడా మెన్షన్ చేశారు కదా, హౌ ద 3 points, those are the 3 important points అని.
సో థ్యాంక్ యూ అండి, థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్. ఈ స్లైడ్స్ మీకు మళ్ళీ అందజేస్తాను, అండ్ విల్ గో ఫ్రమ్ దేర్.
బాగుందండి. ఆ ధర్మ అర్థ కామ మోక్ష, అది కూడా నాగిని గారు చెప్పినట్టు, మీరు చెప్పినట్టు ఇంకో 1 more thing I was thinking was అదే కామములు ధర్మంతో కలిసి చేసినట్టుగా అంటే ఎనీథింగ్ దట్ ఈస్ మైండెడ్ విత్ ధర్మ విల్ అంటే మనకి అప్పుడు మోక్షానికి అది హేతు అవుతుంది అని చెప్పినట్టుగాను. మీరు అది గురు స్టేట్ లో ఉండడం అన్న పాయింట్, అది నాకు చాలా బాగా నచ్చింది. అంటే యాజ్ లాంగ్ యాజ్ మన సత్వగుణం గురువు పొజిషన్ లో ఉంటే రజస్తమస్ బ్యాలెన్స్ అవుతాయి అన్న పాయింట్ కూడా వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఎందుకంటే 3 అందరిలో ఉంటాయి, అది కంట్రోల్ చేయడం అన్నదే ద ఇంటర్నల్ స్ట్రగుల్ దట్ ఎవ్రీ హ్యూమన్ గోస్ త్రూ, ఐ గెస్. అండ్ దట్ ద ఫెయిల్యూర్ ఆర్ ద సక్సెస్ వెరీ మచ్ డిపెండ్స్ ఆన్ ద ఇంబ్యాలెన్స్ దట్ వీ హ్యావ్. ఐ థింక్ ఆ పాయింట్ నాకు చాలా బాగా నచ్చింది. సత్వం గురు స్టేట్ లో ఉండడం అంటే సత్వం గురు స్టేట్ లో ఉన్నప్పుడు అది ఆటోమేటిక్ గా రజస్తమస్ ని కంట్రోల్ చేస్తుంది అన్నట్టుగా. సో ఇట్ సత్వగుణ డామినేట్స్ ద అదర్ 2 అన్నట్టుగా ఉంటే, ఆర్ ఇట్స్ బ్యాలెన్స్ ద అదర్ 2.
Yes, no, absolutely.
పాయింట్ చాలా బాగుంది. అది చాలా అవసరం ఏమో అందరికి, పెద్దవాళ్ళకి పిల్లలకి కూడా చాలా అవసరమైన పాయింట్ అది.
ఇంకోటి గురుగారు చెప్తారు మన
teenagers and the for the kids who are growing up in this era.
yes ఎందుకంటే see యాక్చువల్లీ తమస్సు కూడా మంచిదే. ఏంటంటే వాట్ ఐ టెల్ యూ వై. ఎందుకంటే ఇప్పుడు మనం చాలా కష్టపడి పని చేస్తాం ప్రాజెక్ట్ లో. ఇక్కడ అందరు తెలుగు వాళ్ళే కాబట్టి తెలుగు మాట్లాడచ్చు అనుకుంటాం. మనం అందరం కష్టపడతాం, చాలా ఎగ్జామ్స్ ఉంటాయి పిల్లలకు. అప్పుడప్పుడు మనం ఎలా రిలాక్స్ కావాలి కూడా తెలవాలి. ఎందుకంటే చాలా మంది కొంచెం స్లో డౌన్ చేసుకోవాలి, పర్వాలేదు, ఇన్యాక్టివ్ గా అలా ఉంటే పర్వాలేదు అది. ఎందుకంటే బాగా అదర్వైజ్ బర్న్అవుట్ అయిపోతారు మన వాళ్ళు. సో మనం బర్న్అవుట్ అయ్యి ఇంకేదో దురవాటు రాకుండా. సో యాక్చువల్లీ తమస్ ఇస్ సార్ట్ ఆఫ్ స్లో ఫ్యాక్టర్స్. ఇట్స్ లైక్ బ్రేక్స్. యూ వాంట్ టు స్లో డౌన్, రైట్? దేర్ ఇస్ నథింగ్ రాంగ్ ఇన్ స్లోయింగ్ డౌన్. యూ కాంట్ కీప్ డూయింగ్. రజస్ ఈస్ గుడ్. అంటే మనకు మంచితనం సరిపోదు. ఎందుకంటే ఒకటండి, ఇది నెక్స్ట్ టైం అలా మాట్లాడుకుందాం. సాత్వగుణం ఉంటే సరిపోవట్లేదు. ఎందుకంటే ధైర్యం కూడా చాలా కావాల్సి వస్తుంది మనం అలాంటి. సో ధైర్యం మళ్ళా సో రజస్ అవసరం, మంచి పనులు చేయడానికి రజస్ అవసరం. కానీ సత్వగుణం లీడర్షిప్ లో ఉండాల్సిందే, అది మాత్రం వదులుకోలేము. సో దెన్ అదర్వైజ్ సో మూడు అవసరమే, కానీ సత్వగుణాన్ని సో అది కావాలంటే మన చేతుల్లో ఉండదు. మళ్ళా అయ్యవారి దగ్గరికి వెళ్ళి ఆయన కాళ్ళు పట్టుకోవాలి, శ్రీకురు ఆయన కాళ్ళు పట్టుకోవాలి. అయ్యా నువ్వే నాకు మార్గం చూపించాలి. మూలాధారంలో ఉంటారు ఆయన. తప్పకుండా ఆయన చెప్పిన వీడియో రెఫరెన్స్ చాలా బాగా చెప్పారు. మూలాధారం.
అద్వైత నువ్వు ఏమైనా చెప్తావమ్మా? అద్వైత నీకు
అద్వైత
ఈ రోజుది చాలా ఇన్ఫర్మేటివ్ గా ఉండిందండి. అంటే నమస్కారం అండి, చాలా బాగా చెప్పారండి. పిల్లలకి కొంచెం అంటే ఐ విల్ మేక్ దెమ్ అండర్స్టాండ్ ఇట్ అగైన్ అండ్ అగైన్, బికాజ్ చాలా బాగా చెప్పారు. మీరు చెప్పినట్టు మూలాధార శక్తే కూర్మావతారం.
గురుగారు ఆయన చెప్పారు, ఆయన చివరిలో వీడియో ఉంది ఆయన. నేను జస్ట్ రెఫరెన్స్ అంతేనా?
అవునండి, అంటే మీరు దారి చూపించారు కదా మాకు.
నేను ఆల్ ద టైమ్ సేయింగ్ ఇస్, మన పిల్లలకు ఎందుకు చెప్తున్నానంటే, ఇప్పుడు ఈ కన్ఫ్యూజన్ గా ఒకసారి మనం బయట వరల్డ్ చూస్తే చాలా కన్ఫ్యూజింగ్ గా ఉంటుంది. కార్పొరేట్ వరల్డ్ అయినా కానీ, యూనో సార్ట్ ఆఫ్ పొలిటికల్ వరల్డ్ అయినా కూడా. కానీ ఫండమెంటల్ ప్రిన్సిపల్ ఏంటంటే లీడర్షిప్. అందుకోసం ఆ దలైలామా ఇంటర్వ్యూ, ఆ దలైలామా ఆర్టికల్ కూడా చదవండి తప్పకుండా అని చెప్పింది. మన సనాతన ధర్మానికి సంబంధించిన పాయింట్సే చెప్పారు ఆయన. కానీ వాళ్ళకు సరిగ్గా అలా చెప్పారు, కానీ దాని బేసిస్. సో యూ క్యాన్ బి బెటర్ లీడర్ టుమారో. అద్వైత అండ్ దీస్ కిడ్స్, బేసిక్లీ దట్స్ ఆల్ ఇట్ ఇస్.
అవునండి, అంటే నిన్న కూడా మేము భగవద్గీత గురించి విన్నాము. సేమ్ టాపిక్, మళ్ళా ధర్మంగా ఉండాలి, ఈ పిల్లలకి భగవద్గీత ఎలా హెల్ప్ఫుల్ గా ఉంటుంది. సేమ్ మళ్ళా అంటే మీరు చెప్పిందే చాలా పాయింట్స్ దాంట్లో కూడా సేమ్ ఉన్నాయి అన్నమాట. రేపు వీళ్ళు ఏదైనా ఒక లీడర్షిప్ దాంట్లోకి వస్తే, ఒక హై లెవెల్ లోకి వస్తే, అది బేస్ అయి ఉండాలి. ధర్మము సత్వగుణం ఉండాలి, అదే మెయిన్.
అది ఏంటంటే ఇప్పుడు పిల్లలకి ఏం చెప్పాలంటే, లైఫ్ లో సక్సెస్ బాగా చదవాలి, ఎగ్జామ్స్ సక్సెస్ రావాలి. సక్సెస్ రావాలంటే సక్సెస్ మన చేతిలో ఉండదు. మన ఏది మన చేతిలో ఉంటుందంటే గ్రోత్ మైండ్ సెట్. ఇలా గ్రోత్, పాజిటివ్ మైండ్, గ్రోత్ మైండ్ సెట్ అంటారు. లాస్ట్ టైం చెప్పాను, దానికి భక్తి శ్రద్ధలు అవసరం. కానీ ఆ గ్రోత్ ఒకసారి గ్రోత్ మైండ్ సెట్ ఉంటే ఎండ్యూరింగ్ గా ఉండాలి. పర్వాలేదు, కష్టాలు వస్తే మళ్ళా లేచి నిలబడతాను, మళ్ళా లేచి నిలబడతాను, చివరి దాకా లాస్ట్ మినిట్ దాకా అలానే ఉంటాను. లేచి నిలబడడానికి మరి ఏం కావాలి మనకు? ఆధారం. మళ్ళీ మన సనాతనమై వెళ్ళిపోవాలి. సత్వగుణం. సత్వగుణం అంటే అంతే. అది ఇప్పుడు ఎంతో మంది భక్తులు ఉన్నారు, చివరి దాకా వాడు పట్టుకొని కూర్చుంటారు, వదిలిపెట్టడం అనేది ఉండదు. సో ఆ విధంగా చెప్పాలి పిల్లలు. ఒకసారి సక్సెస్ కాదు, గ్రోత్ లైఫ్ అంతా మ్యారథాన్. లైఫ్ ఇస్ అ మ్యారథాన్. ఆ మ్యారథాన్ లో కావాల్సిన క్వాలిటీస్ ఇంపార్టెంట్. అది దట్స్ మై హంబుల్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్. దట్స్ ఆల్.
ఇంకెవరైనా ఏమైనా చెప్తారా అండి? ఎనీబడీ వాంట్స్ టు షేర్ ఎనీథింగ్? లలిత గారు, మధు గారు ప్రొఫైల్ చదివారు కదా మీరు? వారు కెనడాలో అండ్ గురువు గారివి చాలా విని, ఇప్పుడు మోడర్న్ మేనేజ్మెంట్, ఫైనాన్స్, లీడర్షిప్ ని కలిపి మన సనాతన ధర్మంతో కలిపి చాలా వర్క్ చేస్తున్నారు పిల్లల కోసం.
చాలా మంచిదండి, చాలా హెల్ప్ఫుల్ గా ఉంది యాక్చువల్ గా. థాంక్యూ సో మచ్.
థాంక్యూ. ఏదో జస్ట్ హంబుల్, we all good people get together and think about good things. That's all.
Yeah, life is full of challenges and face it అన్న దానికి పాత్ చాలా క్లియర్ గా ఇచ్చారండి.
అంతేనమ్మా. there is a lot of negativity in the world right now. Next time మనం మాట్లాడుకుందాం. Otherwise there is a lot of negativity. చూస్తున్నాం కదా. సో నెగిటివిటీ దాన్ని మనం ఫేస్ చేయాలంటే మళ్ళా మన అదే ఫండమెంటల్ దాని దగ్గర వెళ్ళాల్సిందే మనం. మన 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 ఫోర్సెస్ అక్కడి నుంచే వస్తాయి. మళ్ళీ శ్రీ కురునాథుడు, అక్కడ ఉన్న కాశీ విశ్వనాథుడు, అవే మన సెంట్రల్ వి క్యారీ దెమ్ ఇన్ అవర్ హార్ట్స్. బట్ సో దట్ ఈస్ గ్రోత్ మైండ్ సెట్ అనే వర్డ్ నాకు చాలా, ఎందుకంటే దలైలామా ఆర్టికల్ చదవండి తప్పకుండా, ఎందుకంటే మన పిల్లలకు కరెక్ట్ గా ఎలా పాజిటివ్ గా ఎలా పెంచాలి దోస్ క్వాలిటీస్. సో అది చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్.
చాలా ధన్యవాదాలండి మధు గారు.
ఉంటానండి. ఓకే, నమస్కారం.
ఉంటామండి. చాలా ధన్యవాదాలు.
ఓకే అండి, థ్యాంక్ యూ.
ఉంటామండి. నమస్కారం.
నమస్కారం.
అందరికీ శుభరాత్రి.